Good morning, friends, audience, and loyal audience to my ad hoc ranting program on the internet. Uh, Today, oh man, those airplanes. I'm gonna call the airport to have them change the traffic patterns because I'm making video games. I'm making, I'm recording very important ad hoc rantings, so the aviation should actually reroute the airplanes during the recording sessions. Or I could close the window, right? But okay, fun aside, today's point is very simple. Uh, United States and Ukraine's regime, for that matter, declared that they received some aviation MiG-29 things. Now they were very secretive about it. They didn't say what it was. Uh, Only that they were very vague. Both actually, they were as if by agreement they were very vague about it. But eventually, we figured out it was like parts and so on. So the Americans went to some junkyards, right? Rummaged and scoured and salvaged some parts. Uh, I think you can, for example, not use Russian parts for the mix. You can get, like you can put things together, duct tape them, jury rig them, and then send them to Ukraine. And it turns out that they have more aircrafts. Okay, well, you know what? Like a country like the United States sends junkyard parts to Ukraine during the height of the war. Not just that, they gloat about it, right? Oh, oh. And they say in the media what it is, not what it is. They say they did so and so, but they actually are vague about it. Now let me see. The KGB doesn't know what was donated to Ukraine and whatever it is. I think they do. Why am I saying this? Is guess what? They had even said on TV. But why would they wanna divulge the operation, that big, small operation, right? Or whatever donations, and not say what it is? Because it's very obvious, folks. They're trying to mislead the public about them supporting Ukraine, right? When they're really not supporting Ukraine, they are supporting Pustarini, Pustarini. They are supporting, folks, all these countries, or let's say not the countries, rather all these regimes, whether it's in the United States or Germany or Arab Gulf countries or Chinese, and oh, they are supporting the post-Stalinins day and night under the umbrella of Israel. Of course, they want them to win this war and sweep over Europe because this Europe, for the Netanyahus, they don't like it for all what it is. Uh, at any rate, I heard, and here goes sarcasm. Well, you get like some belly shaking on Kiev Street by Johnson, and that's called moral support, right? So he's supporting Ukraine morally. Well, we don't know what he's thinking. Maybe he was there scouting Kiev so he can give more information to Pustarini, Bruce or Boris Johnson of England. Australia donated some Bushmasters. There is a problem with Bushmasters. I don't know how many, like 2.5 or 1.5. One probably needed parts, so Ukraine can get the hull, but they still need an engine or something like this. But now my advice to Australians is instead of sending Bushmasters, which are really useless, right? Send some kangaroos. Because they're more versatile and maneuverable on the battlefield, right? They can hop around and you can hardly catch them. So the Australians are going to send some kangaroos, more kangaroos, right? And India is going to send rickshaws, right? Because rickshaws, like they have 3 wheels, so you don't have to worry about changing all 4 tires if you get hit by a volley of bullets or something like that, and then your tires are flattened. So they're going to you worry about three. Besides, it's not like solid, so bullets can fly through without affecting the rickshaw, right? It's got like those connected pipes and so on, and it's a marvel, right? Also, I heard that Mexico is going to donate some burros or donkeys, like burritos and burros, like loaded with tamales. And everybody, of course, like out in the open, crowing and barking about supporting Ukraine. That's not fun, folks. What I'm trying to say is very simple. It should be very obvious now for Europeans in general. Few things. One is Israel and its umbrella and establishments are supporting Russia. Who's Stalin? Not Russia. They don't care. Diddly squat about Russians in their cities, in their villages, or whatever it is. Financially, with intelligence, with everything. Two, it should be obvious for the Europeans that the operation, which started on 2/24 or February 24, was it 24? Yeah, this year, was not just really Ukraine. It encompasses and includes all of the European countries. Um, so that's what it is. And three, the slogan of Nazism is a ploy in preparation for genocide. Let's put it this way. Those who probably will survive the genocide will be taken and systematically brainwashed and reconditioned physically and so on, if they're allowed to live, of course, some of them. So there's a comprehensive plan and operation to really destroy Europe and remove it from history as it is, just in case there is a Soviet collapse again, that those countries will not start growing back again. So if you imagine Europe and other places like Middle East and here and there as flower pot, and then Zionism came and covered it with a tarp or a cover, as not to see the sunlight anymore. And then these plants and flowers and whatever it is, they began to wilt and die out and so on. And just before they died, somebody came, and that's Afghanistan, right? Muslims of Afghanistan and the Middle East too. Arabs had a very, very good share in destroying the Soviet Union in Afghanistan. And they removed it. And those flowers began to grow back again, to nourish from the soil and, the sunshine. And they began to grow again. And now, those people who covered it and tried to destroy it, right, before, they are going to make sure that if they're gone or destroyed or anything can happen, right, that those flowers, which are European nations and so on, societies, cannot go back again. That's the point, folks. You may think this is far-fetched or overactive imaginations. No, this is what it is, folks. If you didn't believe in conspiracy before, now is the time to believe in it. I said this before probably the war. What is planned for Europe is nothing short of Syria, Syrianizing Europe, and elsewhere for that matter. That world that existed for thousands of years, Zion don't like it, Israel don't like it, and they have the means now, well, superficial means, like their success is superficial, right? They have that desire, overbearing penchant within them, probably uncontrollable, to really destroy that world that existed, and the remaining world will be their subject and their animal farm. Animal farm, does that sound familiar? And 1984 is the manual to how to restore ownership of Animal Farm by Moses the Crow. It's that simple, folks. Um, ask George Orwell. George Orwell. Have a nice day, my friends, and I wish you reconsider all that I said. And if you can hear me as individuals, and I would be glad to know that you can hear me as individuals. And I pray that you take my warning seriously. The events now that are happening, whether it is through the pandemic, the pandemic, that 2 years pandemic, which is still now, they still uh, declaring that it's not over, right? And the financial apocalypse that is taking place, a lot of people lost their savings, a lot of people lost their livelihood, a lot of people lost their income, and then now the invasion of Ukraine and what happened in Syria and in the Middle East and Iraq and Afghanistan and what's happening in Africa and Yemen and Libya. And folks, things are not going well for them, but the future will be bleak for you if you're outside of that world. And the majority of people are outside of that world of Zion, right? Future is not good for you, folks. Uh, you may think you're Masonic, that you're part of that world. You're not. When Lenin and Stalin took over, uh, the majority of those whom they killed, not the majority, good part of it were Masonics, basically. In Syria as well. Yeah. Many of those Masonics, just because they were Sunnis, right? They were murdered, straightforward. So you're not safe, whoever you are, from what's going on. And the media is playing a big role, right? Crowing and barking and so on. And it's like this psychological zone spinning. The disk of spinning area is as big as a galaxy and as complex as that as well. Few spare parts from the United States, which probably are used, right? And probably not functioning, some of them, I don't know. And what would they do? Nothing. Notice the media is barking day and night about this donation, about, help and so on. So don't buy all that, folks. Just look at the facts on the ground and tune out all the rhetoric. And you will see very clearly that, that Ukraine is one in a series of horror, acts of horror, which was including Afghanistan, Syria, Chechnya, Somalia, Yemen, Libya, and now Ukraine. And in the future, guess what? It's going to continue into Europe. If you cannot see that pattern, I don't know what else you will see. Have a nice day, my friends, and Good Friday. So far, things are not going well for the post-Stalinine. I mean, it's really in Ukraine, it's far worse than going bad. I mean, but hey, you cannot settle down for one reason, is that the post-Stalinine will not change their strategy. They are predatory, zombie predators, cannibals. They thrive on the lives of others. They cannot live among others. They cannot succeed on their own. Their only ability is to thrive on the lives of others, like parasite, like cancer, like whatever it is, call it what you will. That's what the post-Stalinines are. I have experienced them throughout my career, throughout my conscious life, and I always hope to find myself wrong, but I cannot. Even until today, I try to see if these guys can change, or if there's a glimmer of hope that there may be something good in them. And now the post-Stalinine, those communists, are blind and they cannot see everybody else. They can only see one thing, is that they can only thrive and survive and succeed on the lives of others. Period. That's simple, folks. Have a nice day, my friends. Good Friday. Enjoy your weekend.